it's amazing how things can turn so quickly, and I've read a lot of stuff this week about Ireland not having much depth in certain positions, and key players not playing particularly well, and not finding form again at the right time. The business end of the season, and obviously going away on a summer tour. It's not the end of the world if Ireland go away on a summer tour and lose the series 2-0, but what it does do is maybe make Andy Farrell's mind up about some of the players that are maybe in that squad and are coming to the tail end of their careers. I'm not saying it's a swan song by any stretch, but what it is it a time for those key guys to step up, and if they don't, then maybe it is time for them to move aside and let some of the younger guys come through. But there are a couple of those players obviously playing for Munster, Conor Murray, Peter O'Mahony, to name two of them, who haven't had a hell of a lot of game time this season. Pete was obviously out injured for a while, come back, and then all of a sudden he was benched, and then he was, back in, dragged off up to 40 or 50 minutes in a couple of games. He went a lot better in the final, but again, it just feels like he needs a good run of games to pick up form, and he just hasn't been able to get that. And like Conor Murray has probably started what 3, 4 games this whole year, from January onwards, which again, just playing 15, 20 minutes off the bench, and even in an Irish jersey, when he found himself in and around the Irish team wearing the jersey, again, it was only as a bit part substitute. So it's really difficult. I know he's been around the block and he has a lot of experience on his hands, but there's nothing like match fitness. And there's a couple of those players, especially with Gibson Park, who obviously isn't going to be going on the tour. So Conor Murray might play a part, and might start one of those games or both. Who knows what way Andy Farrell's going to look at it? So yeah, is it concerning? I don't think it is concerning because, as I referenced there, it's not the be all and end all. If you go away to South Africa and lose 2-0, if you lose 2-0 and you get humiliated, then that's a different story. But I don't think this group of players have been humiliated by any team in the last good number of years, and I don't think that's going to happen again. And yeah, so it's been a really stressful, tedious time as a Munster, even not just an Irish rugby supporter over the last sort of month or so, because of all the Irish teams getting bowled out. Munster, you were sort of hoping they would get the final, just to have the URC final in Dublin Park. That didn't happen. It was just a bit of a, as you say, it was just the whole life was just sucked out of it for us Irish fans, wasn't it? And Leinster, who you and I both thought were probably going to go over and do a job, and the Bulls didn't perform either. So yeah, Munster obviously hugely disappointing, but for some reason it seems to sting a little bit more for Leinster just because of the quality that they had on the pitch over in Pretoria at that stage, and yeah, neither team were able to fire enough shots to win. Yeah, like every point matters, doesn't it, when it comes to the knockout stages, and everybody wants to finish in the top two of the competition, but as Munster showed last season, it doesn't matter. It's all about knockout games. It's all about performing on the day. And again, this year, Glasgow have shown it's all about performing on the big occasion in an away game. They were able to get it done against Munster. They're going to have to try and do it again away against the Bulls. So, yes, of course, you want to try and finish in the top two for that carrot that's dangling there to get a home semi-final and potentially a home final. But it's just about having to perform at your best, the coaches to get the best out of the players on one day, 180 minutes, and then you look the next one, and that's what knockout rugby is all about. And it's take out Munster last year, like Ireland haven't in general haven't been good at that, have we? And the stats and the history tell us that we seem to struggle when we have to go big game after big game after big game after big game. Just look at all the Rugby World Cups, and Six Nations is different because you do have a few weeks in between that you can rest players up and mix people in. I don't know, it's slightly different now, but in years gone by, Italy was a time to rotate the team as well, and even Wales to a certain extent now you can rotate players. But when it comes to the URC here, you have to play your strongest team for maybe 4 games on the bounce on the lead up to the final. And again, it just feels like ours ties have been caught out slightly. That they just haven't had that consistency in their game and that match hardness or whatever. And that's what Graham Roundtree referenced last year. He was like, I had the same group of players for what 6 or 7 games on the bounce away from home every single week. They were battle hardened, they were match fit. Any negatives that came their way, they were able to deal with them and turn them around. And like it just feels that both Munster and Leinster haven't had that consistency in their team selection and the way that they've been playing. So yeah, it's just, of course, it's just my opinion, but it just feels like it's another opportunity let go by both Munster and Leinster not to get a trophy in the cabinet this season by winning the URC. Yeah, like there's something about Zeeves. It's like first of all, he's an unbelievable player. But I think he's an even better bloke. He's genuine, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's not the send off that Zeeves deserves." Like he's a rock star. Like he needs to be sent out in the final. You're lifting the trophy. Like yes, it's going to hurt Zeeves that they didn't get to the final. They didn't have that opportunity to win it, the trophy. But he won't mind. Like going out of the game the way he did in terms of he still was able to play at Thomond Park. He was still be able to play in front of family. And like Zeeves is the type of fellow that he wake up the next day, it's just hugely positive energy. He looks forward to the next thing. He'd be looking forward to retirement, what opportunities he's going to have, what business he's going to plan in the future, what he's going to do with his family. And yes, his rugby career was huge to him and vitally important to him as well. But he's the type of guy that will take all the positives out of it. And yes, it was disappointing that he got pulled out in a semi final, but that won't grate on him, I don't think, personally. And I think that's a really good characteristic to have. And yeah, I look forward to working with him over the next year or two on the sofa, as he says. I'll see you on the sofa soon, big man. So yeah, no, he's a quality lad, and yeah, he'd be missed. And there's also a chat of him possibly going on the summer tour because he has been playing that well and with a couple of injuries. Hugo Keenan obviously away. I don't think he had the same impact on the game with playing on the wing at the weekend as he did playing full back in previous games. But yeah, he was unfortunately not added into Andy Farrell's squad, and yeah, I'm sure he'll be sitting on the sofa cheering on the boys, as will I. But yeah, just a big shout out to Zebo, a guy that I played with a few times. Unreal character, brings great energy. I'm sure we'll catch up with him soon. Not for a coffee, but for a beer.